Hello students. Today the topic of discussion is database transaction. What is a transaction? A transaction is a sequential group of operations, queries or statements such as select, insert, delete or update to perform as one single work unit that can be committed or rolled back. Means a database transaction executes either all the units or the group of operations or none. Okay, for example, if your database transaction contains 4 SQL queries and one of them fails, means then the changes made by other 3 queries will be rolled back. Now what is this commit and roll?
This commit and rollback commands are transaction control language commands which are used to manage the transactions in the database.
Permanently saved. But any one of the operation does not successfully completed, then it will be rolled back. Means it will go back to the previous state of the particular transaction. Okay. And with the help of select, insert, delete and update operations, okay, we can use the transaction. Right. Going further. If the transaction makes multiple modifications into the database, two things happen. Okay, either all modification is successful when the transaction is committed, okay, or all modifications are done when the transaction is rolled back. Means here all modification is successful. Means when all the operations performed are successful, the transaction is committed. Means it is saved permanently to the database. But if the modifications are undone, if you don't want the present modification to be done, then simply you can roll back. Means you can take back to the previous state. When you started the work, how the transaction is there, to that portion again it will go back. That is roll back. Okay, like done, undone are there in your word. Like that only. Done means commit here, roll back means undone the work. Okay, so in other words, a transaction will never be complete unless each individual operation within the group is successful. Right. So if any operation within the transaction fails, the entire transaction will fail. Okay. Means if 4 operations are there, means all the 4 should be successful only. Okay. Means all the 4 operations should be completed. Okay. Then only the particular group is successful. Otherwise, if any one operation within the transaction fails, means the entire transaction will fail. Right? Now, let me take you through an example. See, example of the transaction. Suppose a bank customer wants to transfer some money from his account to his friend's account. Okay, at that time, what steps will happen? We will see now. The SQL statement will be divided into the following steps. First point is, check the requested amount is in the account. Okay, means you want to transfer some funds to your friend's account. First, you should check whether you have that sufficient amount. Like 1,000 rupees you want to transfer. Whether the 1,000 is available in your account or not, that should be checked first. Then, if amount is available, then deduct the same from the account and update the account. So, you have 1,000 rupees to send. So, what that should be minus, means that should be deducted from your account. Okay, you have 10,000 rupees balance, presume, and if you deduct 1,000 from that, then you have 9,000 rupees left. That also should be updated to your account. Finally, deposit the amount in the second account, then update the second account to complete the transaction. So now your friend's account will be deposited with the 1,000 rupees what you have sent. Okay, presume he is having 2,000 in his account. So plus this 1,000 rupees, which will make 3,000. So this 3,000 rupees also should be updated in his account. Means 1,000 rupees deposit and 3,000 rupees is the total amount. Then this the transaction will be completed. But in case if any of the above processes fails, transaction will be rolled back to its previous state. Okay, so what happens if any of the transaction, means any of the process what we have discussed now will fail, means the amount which is deducted from your account, and if your account is not updated, okay, the amount deposited in your friend's account, okay, and his account is not updated, then the transaction will fail. Okay, and it will roll back to its previous state. Means your account will be with the 10,000 rupees and your friend's account will be with the 2,000 rupees only. Okay. Okay. Now let us discuss the properties of the transaction. The transaction have the following 4 standard properties which are referred to as ACID properties. Okay. So A in the ACID property stands for atomicity. C stands for consistency, I stands for isolation, D stands for durability. Now let us discuss what are these ACID properties. So atomicity. What is atomicity now? This property ensures that all the statements or operations within the transaction unit must be executed successfully. Otherwise, if any operation is failed, the whole transaction will be aborted and it goes rolled back into the previous state. Means all the operations performed to complete a transaction should be successful. Okay, but if any of that particular operation fails, means the whole transaction will be aborted. And what happens? It will be undone. Okay, then again, if the transaction means whatever transaction you are applying will go back to its previous state before the transaction started. How the account is, in the same way the account will be there. Now let me take you through an example. Say we have table 1 product which has product ID, name, unit price, quantity available. Okay, these columns are there, and the data is product ID we have 1, 2, name, laptops, desktops, unit price, single unit price is 2340 for laptops and 3467 for desktop. And how much quantity available for laptops is 90 and desktops is 50. Now coming to table 2, which is called as product sales. Here we have 3 columns: product sales ID, product ID, quantity sold. So product sales ID 1, 2 and product ID is 1, 1. Quantity sold is 10, 10. Okay. So now the table product contains the information about the product and the quantity available. See here, the table product is having the product and the quantity available. Okay. Now, when a product is sold, okay, that is example 10 laptops sold. Then 2 things must be checked here. See, take you through the product table once again. How many laptops are there? Total quantity available is 90. Okay. So here what the example is saying, out of 90 laptops, 10 laptops are sold. Okay. So when you are doing this, 2 things should be checked here. What are they? Update the table product to 90 minus 10 laptops. Okay. We should use the update command and do the same. Means the table should be updated that 10 laptops are sold and 90 are out of 90, 10 laptops are sold and 80 are there. Okay. Then the second point, what it says, then an entry should be made to the table product sales. Okay. Means here see, product sales is there, means these laptops are sold now. Out of 90, 10 laptops are sold. So in product sales, that also should be updated simultaneously. Okay. So with the help of insert command, that will be done. Insert into product values. Okay. 1, 1, 10. Okay. So 1 minute. Here it is product sales. So here actually insert into product sales. The table name is table 1 is taken. Actually it is table 2. Product sales should be written here. Okay. Please check that. Then both of these statements should be treated as one unit. Okay. Either both of them succeed, or if any one fails, the modified data should be undone or rolled back. Okay. So when this transaction is being taken place, the entire process should be committed, means should be successful. Then only it is transaction is said to be complete. Otherwise, that if by any chance if it fails, if any one of the process is failed, then whatever modification is done, that should be undone or rolled back. Okay. The next property is consistency. This property ensures that the database changes state only when a transaction will be committed successfully. Means all the changes made should be successful. Then only it is said to be a committed transaction. Means the transaction is a complete one. So if stock available is decremented by 10 from table product, then related entry should be there in the table product sales. Yes or no? So table 1 that is product has the product details when the laptops are sold. Okay, from 90 minus 10, it should be updated as 80, and the related entry also should be present in the table product sales also. Okay, then only the transaction is said to be a committed one. Okay, next, isolation. It enables transactions to operate independently of and transparent to each other. Means without disturbing one another, they will be working. Like here is an example which is saying, if a transaction is started by A to update the table product but not committed or roll back. Okay. At the same time, if B tries to access the same table, then it says executing query without showing result because A is not interfering with B. Means here what happens is A is trying to update the table product. The table product is there. Okay, A has opened that table and he is trying to update that. Okay, while he is trying to update, just he is trying to update. So the transaction is not completed yet. Either he did not give a commit or a rollback. At the same time, if B tries to access the same table, then what happens? It will not show any result. Okay, the result will not be displayed, but it will show saying that query is still executing. Okay, in that way, A will not interfere with B. Okay, that is only this isolation. That is, they are operate independently and transparent to each other. Right? And next we have durability. The last property is durability. This property ensures that the result of committed transaction persists permanently even if the system crashes or fails. If there is any system crash or fail, also whatever committed transactions are there, those are stored permanently in the database. That is only the durability. Okay, so hope you understood the asset property.